Yo, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to another broadcast of M.A.B.I.A, Muslim and Black in America. I'm your host, Bilal Abdullah, as usual. Hope everybody had a good week. I had a pretty decent week. Ready to get back working, get this money. Thanks for all the followers and subscribers on my YouTube page. I'm up to like 12 or 13 now. Alhamdulillah, that's what's up. Thank you for that. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep liking, keep watching. If you would like to donate, the link is in the description. Whether you're listening to this on SoundCloud or whether you're listening to this on YouTube, the link should be in the description. You can go ahead and do that as well. And this is just something I've always, wanted to do. I like doing this. I like talking about things that's on my mind, and I like talking about religion as well and Islam. I like talking about issues in the black community as well, and trying to come to, solutions to the problems, as well as reporting and giving my own ideas and thoughts on things. So I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you all for supporting. Let's continue. The United Nations opened their General Assembly this week on the 18th of September. It's supposed to go on until December. At these assemblies, they speak on many issues and debate on many issues. Some of the issues that will be talked on this year will be the drug problem in the world, especially America, expanding in Africa. They will be speaking about immigration of people. They'll be speaking about North Korea's nuclear disarmament. And we'll have general discussions about world peace, human rights, international law, and other bull crap. Now, the reason I call all this bull crap is because it's exactly what it is. All these nations come together to have a mental circle jerk of intellect and debates and to showcase their so-called morality. And that's all it is. It's a show. Nothing has gotten better from these assemblies. The world keeps getting worse and worse. How are you going to talk about human rights and you don't even see certain people as nations? Which means they aren't invited to your assembly, and which in essence means that their human rights aren't to be worried about. For instance, the Palestinians. Or what about the Muslims in China we just talked about last week? President Orange is giving a talk about the drug crisis in America. I've read that last year there were 72,000 deaths related to the opioid issue in America. It just amazes me, yet it doesn't, how they are so concerned about white folk who are dying when years ago we had the crack epidemic and the solution was jail and harsh punishments and major policing of black neighborhoods. But somehow they can't figure out what to do with this crisis now. And as I said, this is just all for show. Because when Trump was giving his speech about the drug crisis, the other nations there made remarks of how he is doing it just for show and to look like a strong leader, as well as they laughed at him during the opening of his speech when he said he had the best presidency in years, or something to that effect. They told on themselves because they are there to do the same. Let's not forget that President Orange has already decreased funding to the UN, as well as has pulled America out of the Human Rights Council, which is to set us up for the attacks that they will continue to ramp up on the black people of America. To me, the meeting of the UN is just a meeting of white supremacists and honorary white supremacists and their supporters who meet and try to figure out how to keep such a system going strong so that none of them lose any real power to do whatever they want. It's also a meeting of the shayateen of mankind, where the spirit of the head shaitan Iblis comes and meets with the people and gives his own advice on how to keep such a system going. It's the same thing that the nations of the past did, but on a grander scale. Go back in the Quran and read the stories of the prophets when they came. During Ibrahim's time, when he spoke against their idols, they had meetings on how to deal with him. Look up Surah 21 verse 61. They said, bring him before the eyes of the people. and they decided to throw him into a fire. During Musa's time, when he came to the Pharaoh and told him to let his people go, the Pharaoh gathered his people and the magicians and sought what to do. Look up chapter 7, verse 11 through 13. During Prophet Salih's time, they did the same and conspired to kill the she-camel of Allah. If you read in the tafsirs, they speak about how a group of people conspired to kill the she-camel of Allah, and they vowed certain women to marry if they did a good, did a good job on killing the she-camel of Allah. And even in the Prophet Muhammad's time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon them all, even in Prophet Muhammad's time, they constantly held meetings on how to deal with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his followers. Even Iblis himself showed up to one of their meetings in the form of an old man and gave them ideas on how to kill Muhammad. This can be found in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir as well, which is why I say the same goes on now. Like I said, this is just a meeting of how to keep the web of white supremacy going, the webs of shaitan going. Do me a favor and go look up the logo for the UN. I don't think it has changed in years, but if you look at the logo, it's a map of the globe all under what looks like a web. It's in plain sight. The web of shaitan is over the world. This is what the UN meets for. And what does Allah say in the Quran about their web? Allah says in the Quran, the likeness of those who take protectors and helpers other than Allah is as the likeness of a spider who builds for itself a house. But verily, the frailest of houses is the spider's house, if they but knew. That's in chapter 29, verse 41. Now, I know all of you probably heard about the conviction of Bill Cosby. He's gotten 3 to 10 years in prison for giving a woman over-the-counter medicine that she consented to. Rape and sexual assault is wrong no matter who does it. But this case was racist. Jurors said they already wanted to find him guilty so they can be done with it and go home. And then we have to look at most of the accusers. They were white or either identified as white. Some only changed up with the trial when the trial came around. And I was watching this guy named Yarima Karama on YouTube, and he posed a great question that I posted on my Twitter page as well, and it was, when was the last time in history a white American was convicted for rape of a black woman? I posted this on my Twitter page, and what I got back was that in 1959, 4 men were sentenced to life in prison for raping a black woman, Betty Owens. Dang near 60 years ago. In 1945, an all-white jury refused to convict 6 white men who raped a black woman, Reese Taylor, in Alabama. But the case of Betty Owens is really the only one I found. There may be more. If you find them, please link me on Twitter or put them in the comment section. And even in that case, they gave them life in prison, but the jury asked for mercy so that they wouldn't get the death penalty. And still, even in that case, one of the men were paroled, and when he was free, he went and killed a black woman that he thought was Betty Owens and got sent back to prison. That question was a powerful question. I've never heard anyone ask that before, and when, I was looking it up, I see that we've been programmed to not even ask that question. This is more proof that the Bill Cosby verdict was more about racism than anything. What about Harvey Weinstein? He's just disappeared in the news. Or all these other white celebs who are known for raping women. What about all these white Catholic priests that we talked about last week who are raping and molesting little boys and girls? Where are their convictions? Most of them just retire or step down and they are free and clear. Or even recently, what about Kavanaugh? I've seen videos of people saying, well, that was many years ago. If it happened, we can let it slide. Let's forget about it. But when it comes to Cosby, whose stuff happened way long ago, no, we need to lock him up in prison. Trump just came out backing Kavanaugh, basically saying all the women are lying and that they can do it to anybody. They can do it to anybody. Yet he doesn't mention how they're doing it to Bill Cosby. Now, this isn't saying that Bill didn't do anything wrong. And this is the warning to the brothers and sisters and even non-Muslims out there. Sexual chastity is a must, especially when you are married. All those adulterous affairs came back to haunt him, and his money didn't make it go away. But also, this Bill Cosby verdict is showing how this system operates. It is very similar to the way Nimrod operated in the time of Ibrahim. This is showcasing, that is showcasing your power by letting one person go and punishing another person. In my opinion, this Kavanaugh stuff is all a show to make it seem like he's going through thorough investigation and, to get him into office. But really, he's already been confirmed. And the young lady that sat behind him throwing up the OK, the AKA white supremacy hand signal, let it be known to the world that this dude's going to be the guy to get picked. But his allegations of sexual abuse and assault have come out. And look how the system acts. Women have come to his defense. Men have come to his defense. The Republicans in the Senate have agreed to delay a vote on his Supreme Court nomination for 10 days so the FBI can probe. But they said they will go on with it even if the probe is not done. And then also, I just recently heard that President Orange was saying how, well, we're going to limit the witnesses of the FBI. We're going to suggest that they don't interview a certain woman. So it seems like they're trying to have their hand in it somehow. And then they come out and say, no, we're not trying to control it in any way. We're just suggesting things. Oh, okay. So this probe really doesn't matter. Even the president has come to his defense, as I said. Yet on Bill Cosby's side, he got more than a 10-day probe, and he's portrayed in the media as a demon. This is similar to what happened in Nimrod's time to showcase his power to Ibrahim. When Ibrahim was arguing with Nimrod, and Ibrahim said in Surah 2, verse 258, "My Lord has the power of life and death." Nimrod said, "I have that power too." And he brought 2 prisoners. One he allowed to be free totally and pardoned him, and the other he ordered to be put to death, showing his power. And speaking of sexual allegations, the Pope said we need to pray for the Catholic Church to keep away the devil, because it's the devil that's making y'all accuse the Catholic Church of sexually abusing children. Not that they're out there touching little boys themselves. It's the devil. These demons laugh in our faces. He's basically saying, yeah, pray the allegations away. But see, this is the Roman Catholic Church, based on Rome, which had pedophilia in it rampantly. So this is normal to them. And since this is a European dominant faith, then this will be more so swept under the rug. They are a protected class. Let this have been Muslims having such major and constant allegations like this being thrown at it. Feds, CPS, all kind of alphabet police will be running down on masajids and harassing imams, arrests being made, all that. Also, I was reading, some tafsir the other day and reflecting on the story of Musa while reading tafsir of Ibn Kathir. I saw another very strong similarity. Seeing how America models itself off of Egyptian as well as Roman Greco culture, I found this fitting. In the story of Musa, the Pharaoh did 2 things that are similar to ours. He created different classes of people to keep them controlled, as you see here in America. In Surah 28, verse 4, it says, "Indeed, Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made its people into factions, oppressing a sector of them, slaughtering their newborn sons and keeping their females alive. Indeed, he was of the corruptors." When it speaks on making them into different factions, it says basically that he made these different factions to better control the people. Some people would be more subjugated to other forms of hard work than others. It's similar to here in America, as I said, We've been fractured into different classes of people. You got the rich, the middle class, and the poor class, and they're all fighting against each other. And then you have, different other classifications of race. Then you have different other classifications of just all types of things. Now, then, with the children of Israel, he would kill their sons and men and let their women live as a way to show his power and keep them weak. This is a very glaring similarity again. Ibn Kathir in his tafsir says about this part of the verse, this refers to the children of Israel, who at the time were the best of people, even though this tyrant king overpowered them, using them to do the most menial work and forcing them to hard labor night and day for him and his people. Kind of sounds like slavery. Kind of sounds like the slavery we went through. Continuing, at the same time he was killing their sons and letting their daughters live to humiliate them, and because he feared that there might appear among them the boy who would be the cause of his destruction and the downfall of his kingdom. So Pharaoh took precautions against that happening by ordering that all boys born to the children of Israel should be killed. But this precaution did not protect him against the divine decree, because when the term of Allah comes, it cannot be delayed. So that's similar to what we see happening now. Our men are being killed and our women are allowed to live. Not only live, but are given more. In this society, the woman has more than the man, if we are being honest. This society is based on worshiping the sun, or the woman principle, aka the mother goddess. They kill our men via cop killings, jail, drugs, homo agenda, and many other avenues, while letting the women live and propping them up and overpraising them as a means to show and smack us in our face how weak we are and to keep us weak. But also the reason the Pharaoh would do this is because he heard of the prophecies of a coming prophet amongst their people, and he was afraid of losing his kingdom. So he wanted to stop the rise of a quote-unquote Messiah. This is the same thing the FBI and their COINTELPRO wanted, and still want to do as well amongst the black community. And they use these means to stop it, as well as other means. I may do a podcast and speak about this and how their tactics have never changed, by going through the Quran and showing how the kuffar of old did the same. As I said in the previous broadcast, these going back, these FBI use their COINTELPRO. Why? Because they said they want to stop the rise of a black Messiah in the black community. So it's very similar to the Pharaoh and Musa situation. And as I said in the previous broadcast, that the Quran says their hearts are all alike. Really, the only thing that changes is the times and technology. But just like in Pharaoh's time, they plot their plots, but Allah is the best of planners. And that's all. Made it real short, sweet today. Hope you liked the broadcast. Share this, like this, comment, give it thumbs up, like it. This has been Muslim and Black in America with your host, Bilal Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and peace.